Moving on to file item 126, Senator Hall. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 557 by Senator Hall, and Act relating to alcoholic beverages.
Senator Hall.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Members, Assembly amendments to SB 557 added the Del Mar Fairgrounds to the list of tight house exemptions and added language to avoid chaptering out issues with SB 462. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Great, thank you, Senator Hall. Members, any debate or discussion? Seeing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wisso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Lotta. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Mitchell. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Nielsen, aye. Morrell, aye.
Secretary, call the absent members.
Gaines.
Aye.
Aye. Jackson. Mendoza. Mitchell. Wynn.
Senator Hall moves the call. Members, we're now going to move to file item 127. Senator Fuller. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 15 by Senator Fuller relative to the National Day of the Cowboy.
Senator Fuller.
SCR 15, National Day of the Cowboy, is back for concurrence. Amendment simply added Assembly co-authors. I ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Members, debate or discussion on this item?
Yes, that too.
Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wisso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Lotta. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Mitchell. Monning. Aye. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. Aye. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Senator
Yes, sir.
Fuller moves the call. Moving on to file item 128, Senator Hertzberg. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 272 by Senator Hertzberg, and Act relating to public records.
Senator Hertzberg.
Being back on concurrence, a number of members, you've heard me talk about this issue of open data, something that's really quite important to me, to try to figure out how to transform our state government more into what we do in the private sector on the open data, to be able to really make it more efficient, more intelligent, and work better. This has come back from the Assembly. There are basically two amendments. One addresses the concerns of cybersecurity, and two gives more discretion to local agencies when making these inventorying catalogs that we've put together. There's been no votes on this measure. I ask for your support.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Gaines. Aye. Galgiani. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Wisso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Lotta. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Mitchell. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, I. Hall, I. Nielsen,
Hertzberg
aye.
moves the call. Moving on to file item 129, members, Senator Hernandez. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 282 by Senator Hernandez, enacting to healthcare coverage.
Senator Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, this bill removes roadblocks to electronic prior authorization of prescription drugs by permitting the use of innovative technologies to transmit prior authorization requests, such as software program and web portals. Amendments taken in the Assembly align the prior authorization appeal process with the federal regulations. Members, with that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. I. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. I. Block. I. Canella. I. De Leon. I. Fuller. Gaines. I. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Wisso. I. Huff. I. Jackson. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. Mitchell. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. I. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Senator Hernandez moves the call. Moving on to file item 130. Senator Wachowski, Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 383 by Senator Wachowski, enacting to civil procedure.
Senator Wachowski.
Mr. President, this is the Demir bill, which is back for concurrence. Now, when it was here in the Senate, it was on the consent calendar. In the Assembly, we took a couple of amendments. We added a sunset provision so that we could determine if this process is really going to reduce the backlog in the courts. We also took an amendment that would limit the number of amended post-Demir complaints to 3, and we took a further amendment in the Assembly that added specificity on the meet and confer process. I ask for your aye vote on the concurrence.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. I. Berryhill. No. Block. I. Canella. No. De Leon. I. Fuller. No. Gaines. No. Galgiani. I. Glazer. I. Hall. Hancock. I. Hall, I. Hernandez. I. Hertzberg. I. Hill. I. Wisso. I. Huff. No. Jackson. Lada. I. Leno. I. Leva. I. Liu. I. McGuire. I. Mendoza. Mitchell. Monning. I. Morlock. I. Morrell. Wynn. Nilsson. No. Pan. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. I. Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Senator Wachowski moves the call. Moving on to file item 131. Senator Canella. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 493 by Senator Canella, and act relating to elections.
Senator Canella.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 493 permits general law cities to switch to district-based city council elections by approving an ordinance and through an open and transparent public process. This bill is in response to a multitude of California Voting Rights Act lawsuits that have been filed against cities demanding they switch to district elections. A city facing such a lawsuit can either submit this change for the voter approval, which there's no guarantee it'll pass, or accept the lawsuits that they're bound to lose, costing hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. Either way, the outcome will be the same and taxpayers will front the cost. This bill provides cities a valuable tool to avoid expensive lawsuits. Assembly amendments narrowed the bill, so now it only applies to cities under 100,000 in population. This bill has received strong bipartisan support and has no opposition, but a lot of support. The Advancement Project, the Latino Community Roundtable in Stanislaus County, League of Cities, and the Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund. So with that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, Anderson, Bates, Bell, I. Berryhill, I. Block, I. Canella, I. De Leon, I. Fuller, I. Gaines, I. Galgiani, I. Glazer, I. Hall, I. Hancock, I. Hernandez, I. Hertzberg, I. Hill, I. Wisso, I. Huff, I. Jackson, Lada, I. Leno, I. Leva, I. Liu, I. McGuire, I. Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, I. Morlock, I. Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, I. Pavley, I. Roth, Runner, Stone, no. Vidak, I. Wykowski, I. Wolk. Wolk, I. Roth, I. Anderson, no.
Senator Canella moves the call. Senator Block, for item 132. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 758 by Senator Block, an act relating to climate change.
Senator Block.
Thank you, Mr. President. SB 758 is back for concurrence. The bill requires the Department of Water Resources to research atmospheric rivers and climate forecasting with the goal of reducing the impacts of both drought and flood. The bill also requires DWR to take all actions within its existing authority to capture additional water generated by atmospheric rivers, to increase the supply of water resources, and to increase hydropower, and to improve flood protection. Amendments taken in the Assembly at the request of DWR include research on climate forecasting. The bills received unanimous bipartisan support in both houses. I respectfully request your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, I. Anderson, Bates, I. Bell, I. Berryhill, I. Block, I. Canella, I. De Leon, I. Fuller, Gaines, I. Galgiani, I. Glazer, Hall, I. Hancock, I. Hernandez, I. Hertzberg, I. Hill, I. Wisso, I. Huff, I. Jackson, Lada,
Aye.
I. Leno, I. Leva, I. Liu, I. McGuire, I. Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, I. Morlock, Morrell, I. Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, I. Pavley, Roth, Pavley, I. Roth, I. Runner, Stone, I. Vidak, I. Wykowski, I. Wolk. Wolk, I.
Senator Block moves the call. Members, we're going to move to governor's appointments. That's file item 116, 117, members, on your daily file. Beginning with file item 116, Senator De Leon.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, colleagues. Welcome back. Before us is file item number 116. This appointment, Mr. Michael Picker for the Public Utilities Commission, PUC, was heard on August the 13th, passed on a bipartisan vote, 5-0. Mr. Picker did answer very extensive questions about the culture of the PUC and the processes that make it seem broken and less transparent to the public. It was a very thorough engagement with behind the scenes, obviously in personal interviews with the members of the Rules Committee, as well as the public hearing itself come August 19th. As we know, the PUC has its very deep challenges with transparency, with accountability, and a whole variety of other issues that we can get into ad nauseum. But we believe that Mr. Picker is prepared to do the right thing, especially changing the culture at the PUC to make it much more accountable as well as transparent to the taxpayers and to the ratepayers of the state of California. After, again, extensive conversations at the Rules Committee hearing, we submit this appointment to all of you for the support. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I wanted to agree with the pro tem on the confirmation. When Michael Picker came to the PUC 18 months ago, he focused on safety, and that has been his focus ever since, and it was something that had been absent at the PUC. He and his executive director have demonstrated a real true dedication to improve the internal processes at the PUC as well. There were issues related in Senator Hueso's committee that came to light over the hiring of criminal attorneys and the ballooning of that contract that has grown considerably. But saying that, I recommend his confirmation today. He has improved the PUC dramatically in the time that he's been there in his short tenure, but he has a long way to go to make the PUC into the regulator that the public deserves. But I support his confirmation today.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll just briefly join the chorus here in support of this nomination. As you know, a number of us on this floor are working legislatively to systemically reform the California PUC currently. And as authors, we have met with Michael Picker and with his staff, and we are, I believe, on a successful path to getting a bill to the governor's desk, also working with the governor's folks, so that can be in a form that the governor can sign. I would agree with Senator Hill and with the pro tem that Mr. Picker has every desire and intention to make sure that the PUC returns to its core mission, which is to fight on behalf of consumers so that we can receive the many services of the varied infrastructures of California safely and affordably.
Members, additional debate or discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none. Senator DeLeon, would you like to close?
I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. No. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Canella. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Canella. Aye. Gaines. No. Gaggioni. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Jackson. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Mitchell. Monning. Aye. Morlock. No. Morrell. No. Wynn. Nilsson. No. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wykowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk. Aye. Block. Aye.
Senator DeLeon moves the call. Moving on to file item 117. Senator DeLeon.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Colleagues, this is our last appointment today. This is Ms. Leanne Randolph, who is also a governor's appointment to the PUC, the Public Utilities Commission. She too was heard along with Mr. Picker on August 19th. She passed with no opposition on a 3-0 vote. Ms. Randolph also is a very capable attorney. She is chairing a subcommittee at the PUC to examine issues surrounding the ex parte process. Obviously, the ex parte process is one of the more contentious issues with regards to transparency at the PUC. We believe that she is a capable attorney. She does agree that there is a systemic issue at the PUC, therefore culture has to be changed, and that means those at the highest level, the governance level, must make those changes so it permeates throughout the PUC from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top. We do give her also a recommendation to support her appointment as a governor's appointment to the PUC. So therefore, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. Anderson, no. Bates. Bell. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. De Leon. Bell. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. No. Gaines. No. Gaggioni. I Glazer. I Hall. I Hancock. I Hernandez. I Hertzberg. Hill. I Hueso. I Huff. Jackson. Lada. I Leno. Leva. I Liu. Leno I. Leva I. Liu I. McGuire. I Mendoza. Mitchell. Monning. I Morlock. No Morrell. No Wynn. Nilsson. No Pan. I Pavley. I Roth. I Runner. Stone. No Vidak. No Wykowski. I Wolk. Wolk I.
Senator De Leon moves the call. Members, we're going to move back to motions and resolutions. Pursuant to Senate Rule 2910, the following bills are referred to the Rules Committee. Item 88, AB 533. Members, we're going to move to Senate third reading, starting with file item 136. File item 136, members. 138. Senator Hueso. File item 138. Pass. Senator Runner, are you prepared to take up 136? Pass on file. File item 137. Senator Hill? Pass on file. Members, we're going to then move on to Assembly third reading, beginning with I'm going to read out the next couple items that are on the docket here, beginning with item 140, 155, 157, 160, 163. So moving on to file item 140, Senator Liu. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 562 by Assemblymember Holden and accruing to ballots.
Senator Liu.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill makes technical changes to move the Superintendent of Public Instructions further up the ballot alongside other statewide elected officers. The Superintendent of Public Instruction is the only statewide elected officer that does not appear at the top of the ballot. An editorial in the SAC-B noted that of the 6.7 million ballots cast in the November 2014 election, 20% did not include a vote for either of the two superintendent candidates. AB 562 would ensure that voters have the opportunity to fully participate in the electoral process. This bill has received unanimous bipartisan support, has no known opposition, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Bates. Aye. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Block. Aye. Canella. Aye. De Leon. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Galgioni. Aye. Glazer. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. Aye. Jackson. Lada. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. Aye. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Mitchell. Monning. Morlock. Aye. Morrell. Aye. Wynn. Nilsson. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Roth. Aye. Runner. Aye. Stone. Aye. Vidak. I Wachowski. I Wolk. Wolk, aye.
Senator Liu moves the call. Moving on to file item 155. Senator Wesso. Pass on file. File item 157. Senator Bell. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 605 by Assemblymember Gatto and Act relating to vehicles.
Senator Bell.
AB 605, Mr. President, members, deals with the DMV electronic filing charges, and it's a consumer protection measure. The bill clarifies the charge paid by consumers for electronically filing title and registration documents with the DMV should not include costs associated with services unrelated to electronically filing title and registration. AB 605 is necessary to clarify the practice of passing along costs to the consumers that are unrelated to the electronic filing registration as part of the filing charge is impermissible. This bill passed the Senate Transportation Committee 9-0. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. I Bates. Bell. I Berryhill. Block. I Cannella. I DeLeon. I Fuller. Gaines. I Galgiani. I Glazer. I Hall. I Hancock. I Hernandez. I Hertzberg. Hill. Hertzberg. I Hill. I Wesso. I Huff. I Jackson. Lada. I Leno. I Leva. I Liu. I McGuire. I Mendoza. Mitchell. I Monning. I Morlock. I Morrell. I Wynn. Nilsson. I Pan. Pavley. Roth. I Runner. Stone. I Panay. Vidak. I Wachowski. I Wolk. Pavley, aye.
Senator Bell moves the call. Moving on to file item 160. Senator Wesso. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 718.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. We're going to pass temporarily on that. Members, 163. Senator Leno. Secretary, please read.
Assembly Bill 1287 by Assemblymember Chu and Act relating to vehicles.
Senator Leno.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, this bill is a district bill for San Francisco. It deals with a pilot project that was developed by the legislature back in 2007 and then renewed and extended in 2011. It is called the Transit-Only Lane Enforcement Project, and what it does is it places cameras on buses that use transit-only lanes. For those of you not familiar with such, these are lanes designed for our streets only for transit, for taxis, so that they can move along more quickly. The average bus in San Francisco speeds along at 8 miles per hour because of all the congestion. These cameras can photograph the license plate of a car that is double parked in the transit-only lane. There were concerns, specifically on my part, when we established the program with regard to privacy. And in fact, there have been absolutely now over 8 years any reports or concerns for privacy, that the film is taped over every 72 hours. And so, again, no privacy concerns. It has helped clear the transit-only lanes. This will extend the program even further. I ask for your aye vote.
Members, debate or discussion on this item? Debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. I Anderson. I Bates. I Bell. I Berryhill. I Block. I Cannella. I DeLeon. I Fuller. Gaines. Galgiani. I Glazer. I Hall. I Hancock. I Hernandez. I Hertzberg. I Hill. I Wesso. I Huff. I Jackson. Lada. I Leno. I Leva. I Liu. McGuire. I Mendoza. I Mitchell. I Monning. I Morlock. Morell. I. Morell, I. Morlock. I. Wynn. I. Nilsson. Pan. I. Pavley. I. Roth. I. Runner. I. Stone. I. Vidak. I. Gaines, I. Wykowski. I. Wolk.
Senator Leno moves the call. Moving on to file item 165, Senator Leno.